movies. Now raise your hand, please, if you like movies, if you like to watch movies or films. Raise your hand. I see a lot of hands up. Mohammed, Isabella, yes, yes, yes. Excellent, excellent. So there are different types of movies or different kinds of movies. Not every movie is the same. Okay, so we can talk about different types of movies, okay? So who can read? Now this picture right here looks pretty cool. There's a car on fire and a helicopter. Oh my goodness. What kind of movie is this? Let's read this, please. So Ariana, please, can you read that for me?
Action movies that have explosion, flight, fighting, and other exciting things.
Excellent, excellent, very good. Thank you very much. Yes. So when a movie has actions, explosions, and cool things happening, we call it an action movie. Can somebody give me an example of an action movie that they saw? Movie title. Layla.
Furious.
I'm sorry, Layla, one more time, please.
Fast and Furious.
The Fast and Furious, yes, very much so. Good. That's an example of an action movie. Okay, let's go to the next one. So we have action movies. Now, this is a pretty good one. What kind of movie is this? Can someone tell me what this is? Mohammed.
Comedy.
A comedy, very good. Comedy, comedy. Now, what kind of movies are comedies, Mohammed?
Comedies, movies that make people laugh.
Yeah, so you have Mrs. Doubtfire here. You have Guardians of the Galaxy. So movies that make you laugh, whether they have a funny face or they say things that are funny, they make you laugh. And that's called a comedy. Comedy. So can somebody give me an example of a comedy movie that they saw? Comedy movie. Mohammed.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean, yes, Mr. Bean's a comedy for sure. Now, Mr. Bean doesn't say anything, but he's a funny person, so we see it as a comedy. Layla, what else is a comedy? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
That's okay, that's okay. Awesome. So we have a comedy. Now, raise your hand, please, if you like comedy movies. If you like funny movies. Ariana does, Efe, Isabella. Mohammed does too. Excellent, guys. A lot of funny people in here. I like it. Get hands down, please. Okay, now this is an interesting word here, but I think you guys might have seen this movie before, or these characters before. So what kind of movie is this? Who wants to volunteer? Isabella, please. Isabella.
Animation.
Animation, very good. So animation. Animation. And what kind of movie is animation, Isabella?
Movies that are drawn, made in a computer.
Yes, so they're movies that people aren't in, but people have made, whether it's a computer, like Pixar movies, like Monsters Incorporated or Kung Fu Panda, or they are drawn. Okay, that's an animation movie. Animation. So who can tell me an example of an animation movie? An example of one. Ariana?
Minions.
Minions. Yes, absolutely. Efe, what about you?
Cars.
Cars. Yeah, totally. Anybody else have an example of an animation movie? Horror, very good. Horror, horror. Okay, there's two R's in there, so horror, horror. Now, what kind of movies are horror movies? Who can read this for me down here at the bottom?
Movies that are scary and sometimes have monsters.
Excellent, Arun. Thank you. Yes, so see this little girl here? She looks very, very scared. So they're scary. They make you go and scream. It is chilling, Isabella. Yes, it is chilling. It is terrifying. And we have a little vampire monster down here. So that is a horror movie. Now, personally, I don't like horror movies. I think they're pretty scary. But who does like horror movies? Raise your hand, please, if you like horror movies. I think Layla does. Layla does like horror movies. Okay, anybody else? Anybody over here? Oh, Annabelle. Annabelle's a good example, Isabella. Yes. Dolls are always scary. They're always creepy. Okay, Aya, what is your favorite horror movie?
There's so much horror movies that I like.
Okay, can you give me one example?
Annabelle.
Annabelle, yep, very much so, yeah, cool. Layla, what about you, Layla? What movies do you like? Horror movies.
Ring 1.
The Ring, yes, The Ring for sure. Okay, cool. So we have action, we have comedy, we have animation, we have horror. I think we have one more. We have one more here. This is a good one. Who can read this for me?
Harry Potter.
It is Harry Potter, yep, very much. But what kind of movie is Harry Potter? Daeroon. Daeroon.
Fantasy.
Very good, Daeroon. Can you read the bottom for me, please?
Movies that have magic, mythics, and other things that are not real.
Yes, very good. So the word down here is myths. Myths. It's a funny word. Now, myths are stories that probably aren't real, okay? So they're legends and myths. So if it has magic, if things are not real, we call it a fantasy. So Harry Potter definitely is a fantasy, okay? It is not real. It is fun, but it is not real, okay? So can you give me an example of a horror movie? Oh yes, Harry Potter is wonderful for sure.